Internet. I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake, and we are the only people in this group. So, if anything ever comes out, it's just one or the other, and not the whole thing. It's not the whole thing.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the hashtag change the channel thing that's going on. For those of you who don't know, Channel Awesome, you've probably heard their name at some point. They've been producing content for the internet for over a decade at this point.
They're big fan long before we were YouTubers. You specifically were a huge fan of that.
Yeah, in middle school, I loved the Nostalgia Critic. I loved Brad Jones's Cinema Snob. I talk to Brad now occasionally, funny enough, through this job. But apparently some documents have come out where previous Channel Awesome people have come together and basically put in a document, I'll link it in the description, of all the problems in the management, the miscommunication, the harassment, sexual harassment on that. It's a whole mess. So I just wanted to talk about this and make people aware of it, because a lot of people are subscribed to Channel Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's cool. If you want to still be, that's also cool. But I want people to be aware of the business practices therein while you're watching that. Be aware of that stuff and how they treat their content producers.
Now, being part of the YouTube community, I've heard things in the past, specifically about Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, where he's kind of a douchebag or something. Like people have said, some shit about him. However, after reading this document, while I don't think it shines very brightly in his favor at all, it doesn't make him out to be like this evil jackass. It makes him out to be aloof and not supportive of his co-creators.
I don't think he understands the breadth of what is going on in his own organization.
The CEO, Mike, I think it's Mashad, is the real bad guy here. Boy, I can't even unpack it all. Again, there's the Google Doc down there that they compiled all together. But I mean, you have everyone, I don't know, Lindsay Ellis, Linkara, etc. All of the...
Obscurus, Lupa, Phaelus. Phaelus I don't think is in the document, but I know for a fact it talks about him and his effects works that he had to do for free To Boldly Flee, which was their final anniversary movie.
There's some people, like there's one creator, I forget their name, their girlfriend did some art or whatever, and then Mike just decided to steal that art and merchandise it.
Yeah, the art was to be used for one of the movies, I believe, but only in the movie, and then he took that art and then said, okay, I have the rights to put this on a t-shirt and sell it and not give her any money. You can't do that.
Yeah, so... I mean, it's a lot of really, really bad business.
This Mike guy also apparently, this is hilarious to me, just because this isn't even a moral argument. This is you're a fucking idiot argument. Obviously what he did is repugnant and disgusting, but apparently he started sexually harassing the HR woman.
Who? Oh, just... Right at HR.
So, anyway, apparently, this involves a story where several other people had to escort her, with bats, because she was afraid for her safety. It's just, I really recommend everyone dive into that document and check it out, because it's pretty damning, and it falls in line with pretty much everything I've heard from anyone who's left Channel Awesome in the past 5 years or so.
Yeah, and, today, did it come out today or yesterday? As of this recording,
I think yesterday.
Okay, so by the time this comes out, 3 days or so, it's been out.
Yeah,
almost 72 hours, and
Channel Awesome has said nothing. By the way,
Brad, who is part of Channel Awesome, seems to be the only one under contract.
As far as I know, I don't know that to be a fact.
Is with Doug at a con right now.
Either tomorrow or the next day. I think they're supposed to be at a con.
Brad, by the way, no bad things have been said about Brad. It's very important because not only is he a friend of the show, I mean, we'd tell you if he wasn't, but he's in a don't take it out on Brad, basically. Yeah. Don't take it out on any of the creators, really, other than the Walkers, Doug and Mark.
No.
What's his name?
Doug and...
I forget his brother's name.
And
then Mike. Basically, those three are the ones... That's even in the thesis, the body of the... It's those three, basically. Mostly Mike. But boy, is that conference going to be awkward.
I just find it really sad. As someone who's... We've been very fortunate in that we've been able to forge forward and create something for ourselves and make money on this independently without having to really team up with anybody. But I can picture us as like, or even individually, any young person who wants to get their stuff out there being approached by someone like Doug Walker, who maybe they were a fan of, like me, who was a fan of the Nostalgia Critic.
Well, Lindsay Ellis was in college at USC when she started.
Yep. So, of course you're going to say yes to them,
right.
And then when they treat you like crap, you're going to be like, well, is this maybe how it is? And then you just it's a cycle of getting treated like crap until you realize, wait, no, I'm worth more than this, and I need to leave. And by that point, they've already used you up and used, what they needed from you to make them a profit instead of you going out and forwarding on your own. Just off the top of my head, I'm going to name some people right now who have left Channel Awesome, who you should subscribe to and support.
Yes.
Obscurus Lupa, who's great. Allison Pregler, same person, just that's their name.
Yeah.
Phalis, who I mentioned. Lindsay Ellis. Todd in the Shadows, Brad Jones over at Stone Gremlin Productions. Oh god, there's more. I'll put like a list in the description.
Yeah.
Of all the people you should check out.
And they're all listed in the index at the beginning of that document as well. Sure. I've seen I'd say over half. You've probably seen pretty much everybody. Yeah. Because I'm not as big of a fan as Channel Awesome in general. Oh yeah, but Lindsay Ellis is my of that group. Besides Brad, who I know personally. I've never talked to Lindsay. But those two are probably my favorite content creators of the three, or of that group, and then Linkara, I guess, is the one after that.
Oh, I love Linkara's History of Power Rangers.
Yeah,
so great.
You've had me sit through a couple of those.
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
That's
we
weird.
We sat and listened to them together a couple times.
Oh, weird.
Long ago, like probably 4 years.
That's
ago.
why I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, she's immortalized in the hot dog thing.
Oh yeah, the hot dog gif is.
Yeah.
That's
I wonder
Lindsay,
what that day on set was like.
That was her. That was
okay.
her.
Actually, by the way, not everything's a huge bombshell in this. Some of it's just like shitty stuff. Like, for instance, I don't know. Did she go to school for film?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a little section in there where she's talking about setting up logistics for a shoot they're gonna do.
Are you talking about the craft services?
And she's just like, yeah, there should be craft services there. Like, what are we gonna do for that? Whatever. Just kind of making a checklist basically. And then Doug starts laughing at her, like, no, we're never gonna do that. Like, that's industry standard.
Bear in mind, this was a set with 30 actors.
Yeah.
Multiple camera people.
Crew.
There was some crew. Student films have craft services.
You need food and water for people when you're doing. It's just the standard. And while it's not a union, I don't think they have SAG cards.
No.
You just do it. Boy, like fucking, we have refreshments here. Are you kidding me? The two of us do. So I mean, imagine being there. I mean, a shoot with 30 people and a full crew, that takes all day.
Also, the last movie they did, To Boldly Flee, I heard was just a big ego project for Doug, and everyone had a nightmare on it.
Yeah.
It's just really sad that this thing that was such a huge, integral part of not early internet culture, but I'd say mid-internet culture before we hit kind of now.
And also, just, like, on a personal level, your consumption of this kind of content.
Yeah. We wouldn't exist today if it wasn't for Channel Awesome. I think that's a fact.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had the interest.
I agree. And also just the way that content flows, like the format, I think is.
And hey, they did the whole thing with Where's the Fair Use, which is a positive thing. It sucks that it came from such a shitty company.
And by the way, we still support them on that front, but God, man, it is sad. It's I don't know. I can't remember the last time anything like this happened.
I don't know. Anyone out there who's a video creator and you're coming out and maybe you have some new stuff, if you're ever approached by Channel Awesome to be like, hey, we like your stuff, you want to come on the site? I would recommend you do not take up that offer.
Also, no networks.
Yes.
When you get emailed, you will get emailed. We get emailed constantly still. Don't take the networks. They're bad.
The best thing you can do for yourself is to work on your content, continually try and make it better, gain an audience, have a personality on camera, and the audience will come if it's going to come.
Right.
And certainly work with other people. Have collaborations, absolutely. But don't tie yourself to someone who's using you as a commodity to be thrown away the second you become too much of a problem for them to deal with.
Yeah. I don't know. Just contracts in general through YouTube. I have never heard a good story.
No. I haven't either.
So I'm just saying. A lot of people look at this like cash grabs at this point. Like, for instance, the Jake Pauls of the world, that started out like producers grab kids, put them in a big house, front them a bunch of money, and then go make content. And then it happened to work out in this case, but sometimes they're just screwed. Kind of like, I don't mean it to be too dire, but kind of like the porn industry, where you kind of shove people in an apartment and be like, go produce content, whatever that may be, and then they're stuck with a bill afterwards, or the cut is really huge, or like having a manager or whatever. You don't need these things. Be independent. Like maybe you get more subscribers at a certain point, because of, although personally a network's never worked, but like a house, like a YouTuber house is a very common thing. I just don't, those never seem to work out.
I don't know, man. It makes me sad to see a thing that essentially helped create a genre. You know what? Didn't even create a genre. Angry Video Game Nerd was first.
Yeah.
A different medium. It was video games. But the format was there, and then Doug kind of took it up for movies and stuff. So, you know what?
Those two, though, are the fathers of, like...
You know what makes me happy, though? Never heard a single bad thing about James Rolfe.
Neither.
I've heard he's an excellent guy. I've never seen his... I know he's married. He's been married for quite a few years. It's never come into the videos. I know he has kids, multiple. He's mentioned they never come into the vids. He leaves his personal life personal and his professional life professional. He seems like a very professional person. Mike Matei once drunkenly said a dick pic to everyone on their subreddit, but he has his own demons.
Mike Matei?
He's his friend who helps him make the videos.
I thought he had a drinking problem.
I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard things. Anyway,
Isn't it weird how we just tangentially find stuff out because of just being on YouTube? And moderate size. We're not, like, our main channel is just,
It's probably like how all comedians knew Louis C.K. was jerking off on people, like...
Literally, I am 1 degree of separation away from the Louis C.K. jerking off to people stuff.
All comedians knew that
My friend Mikey knew that. He's been on, that's crazy.
Industry rumors, they go around.
Yeah, so when you hear this buzzing around but with YouTubers, like in personal conversation, it's probably true.
Here's the thing. I don't want to be Keemstar. I'm not trying to be Keemstar with this episode.
No.
I just want people to be aware of Channel Awesome's business practices. And how they treat their content creators.
Sure.
And that being said, it is poor. So
by the way, Keemstar hangs out with Andy Milonakis in real life. That's true.
That makes too much sense.
Yeah, isn't that great?
I like the Andy Milonakis show.
I kind of like Keemstar now. Like
I've never watched a Keemstar video.
Oh, I don't. Me either. I follow him on Twitter. He's kind of a douchebag sometimes, but like, Andy Milonakis is an IRL Twitch streamer. He just films his life.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Andy Milonakis.
Andy fucking Milonakis.
Well, that's Andy Milonakis, though. He's kind of a weird dude.
But what happens is, and it's really interesting, and this is a side, just, you can leave now or stick around.
I'll end with talking about the channel also.
We will, but still. Milonakis, stream sniping is a thing. Like, for instance, competitive gamers play a thing like League of Legends, which, you never played, but I like it. It's very competitive, but stream sniping is when someone watches a stream to find out where you're at. There's a lag, but it still helps. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Or like what your strategies might be. But stream sniping for IRL is showing up where that person is. Apparently, he gets hunted.
I'd hunt Andy Milonakis.
No, he had people coming after him while he was hanging out with Keemstar, or at least there was rumors that was happening.
I mean,
because there's other IRL streamers that literally just stand around to snipe other IRL. It's fucking crazy. But anyways, Keemstar's sitting there. He tips well. He's very kind to service people. I can't believe it. I think I like Keemstar.
Wow.
He's super rich, and he definitely is that kind of personality.
Sure.
But like kind to service people, Keemstar, I did not expect.
That's a good.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way. That's my gauge.
That's
basically.
a good litmus test. Usually,
it really is. And I mean, they were super cool. I expected from Milonakis. I've always, I don't know industry stuff about him, but I've heard like in talk shows and stuff, like whenever he's brought up, everybody likes Andy. So I don't know. Anyways, Doug Walker.
From what I've heard, Doug tries to kind of keep his head buried as much as possible.
I think that's a big problem with this. A lot of this seems to be his inability or unwillingness to engage in the problem.
Yeah, and by the way...
I hear he's also a dick, but like...
Did we mention this earlier? He doesn't own the rights to the Nostalgia Critic.
We did not mention this.
Mike does. Mike owns the rights to the Nostalgia Critic.
Whew.
So I feel like Mike maybe almost has everyone hostage at this point and is basically saying to them, either do things my way. He must own just a controlling interest in Channel Awesome. Including the Nostalgia Critic. And it must just be him saying, like, what are you gonna do? I fucking own the thing. Fuck you. Go make another video, Doug. And shut the fuck up. Something like that.
I've seen a lot of the conversations. Mike basically he demands 2 videos a month, which I think is easy, but the content they make is harder.
Yeah.
And just the way those conversations go seems like flopping a dick on the table and being like, I'm in charge. It doesn't matter my way or the highway, sort of. And we've all worked probably in shitty jobs like that. I can't imagine YouTube being a shitty job. Like, it should be a freeing job with a lot of work, but I mean, it should be like the idea of being your own boss is kind of the draw.
Yeah.
Whereas the work I think is more less physical, just That's more true. Hands-on all the time. Yeah. So
I don't know. Overall, bummer for Channel Awesome. I would love to be able 5 years from now to say like, oh, they got rid of Mike and they like Doug took over and like it changed or someone else took over and they're much better to creators.
In 5 years, I'd be surprised if that's Channel.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's the more likely situation is that in 5 years, Channel Awesome just won't be a thing.
Hopefully Doug has enough money.
I think he does. He has enough socked away.
You think so?
I think so. They did an Indiegogo to raise like $90,000 for that game show thing that they only did 12 episodes of, which 12 is the legal minimum they had to get away with before it being an issue, by the way. They were supposed to do 30 or so, and the set did not look like it cost $90,000 to make, so I don't know.
You can give us $90,000 with no promises if you want.
Anyway, so I guess that's it. Like I said, check out all the people in the description. Lots of channels out there worthy of checking out their content, seeing if you like it. You might like all of them. You might like some of them. You might like none of them. I don't know.
Yep.
But give it a shot.
Yeah.
Small YouTubers need more. What they should do is open their own website and call it like Channel Everyone, and it'll be for all the people who left Channel Awesome, and everyone will get like equal.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all part owners. If anyone does that, call me. I'll be part of it. Anyway, until next time, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake. I will too.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
This has been Pop Culture. I don't know why I said that weird.
Timing!